brink. This week on FIFA Football, we're in Italy as a new-look Parma enjoy life in Serie A.
A former Parma player, now home in Bulgaria. The latest chapter in Valeri Bozinov's nomadic career.
And a new era for the Australian national team. How Thomas Deng and Awa Mabil are blazing a trail for the Socceroos.
My name is Enrico. I'm from Parma, and of course, I support Parma. In a way, we've been lucky, because despite the horrible situation with the bankruptcy and everything that followed, we found strength and unity as a fan base. And of course, we still have a football club that brings us all together. We've gone from a very low point, a point that nobody would have ever imagined we would get to, and have climbed all the way back up to Serie A. And we've done it all in just over 3 years.
In 2015, Parma were declared bankrupt for the second time in little over a decade. Demoted from Italy's Serie A to the 4th tier, they were reborn as Parma Calcio 1913. And after 3 successive promotions, the club are back at Italian football's top table once again.
I wanted to show this photo of the North Stand. To me, it shows just what it means to be a Parma fan. The banner says, "All we need is the shirt to keep singing." Of all the amazing banners we've had behind the goal, I think this one really resonates with Parma fans. We've had so many great players, but it's the shirt itself that we love, and that is the symbol of Parma.
The first of Parma's 3 promotions came under club legends Nevio Scala and Luigi Apolloni. In 2 years, current head coach Roberto D'Aversa has overseen back-to-back runners-up finishes to lead the Giallo-Blu back to Serie A.
When I arrived, my initial plan was to try and strengthen the team mentally. It was a difficult moment, and the players' confidence was low. My aim was to take the club back to where it deserved to be. Of course, that meant Serie A. The passion, sense of belonging, and unity that the fans have always shown in difficult moments is something that you don't really find all over Italy. And this love is felt by the players. It's absolutely key if you want to achieve your targets.
Parma's golden era came in the 1990s. They lifted 7 trophies, including 3 Coppa Italia titles and 2 UEFA Cups. And those triumphs are the inspiration for the current crop of players. Their squad this season features 2 experienced stars with 180 international caps between them.
Everything was put in place for me to feel comfortable and come here. The club felt it needed a player like me, with my experience, to help Parma achieve the goal of staying in Serie A.
3 years ago, this team was in Serie D, so inevitably, the club needed to be very active in the transfer market. It's no coincidence that if you have top players who do well, and Gervinho has been and continues to be just that, as has Bruno Alves, they both have something different about them.
Life is good, you know, but what I like the most is like to learn, you know. I'm learning with my teammates, I'm learning with my coach, you know. Also, I'm learning to every day, you know, like to prepare myself to be ready for the games. Parma have a identity, a philosophy that you can see that is from the coach. For me, it's important to work with a coach like him, you know, because he's young, he has ambition.
Among the favourites for relegation when the season began, the club have impressed. And after years of upheaval, Parma Calcio 1913 now hope to find stability.
The first thing that we think is like to stay in Serie A for next year. But depends also how the season is going, you know. If you are keeping going well, you know, everything can change. But our first thinking is about to save the team soon as we can.
I came here to stay in the top flight and bring joy to the fans. I want to show them that I'm the same Gervinho and haven't changed. I think we'll weigh up how it's gone at the end of the season. I hope we'll be able to celebrate come the end of the campaign, having kept Parma in Serie A, and we'll see what lies ahead.
Whatever happens, happens. We're lucky enough to have, if I'm not mistaken, a club that believes in the project. And that's good enough for me at the end of the day. I don't think they'll get it wrong.
Defeat to Sampdoria at the weekend has seen Parma drop to 12th in Serie A. But in a congested table, they're only 5 points off 5th place. A 5th consecutive draw for Chievo Verona keeps them rooted to the bottom. The top of the table remains unchanged. A 7th straight win for Juventus maintains their 8-point lead, with Napoli and Internazionale also recording weekend wins.
I've played football for Manchester City, Juventus, Fiorentina, Parma, Sporting Lisbon, lots of clubs. And wherever I've played, it's always been with a great love of the game.
About 1,000 kilometres east of Parma is the Bulgarian city of Vratsa, the current home of former Parma striker Valeri Bojinov. The 32-year-old represents top-flight side Botev Vratsa, the 15th club of a long and meandering career.
Why did I choose Botev Vratsa? Well, there are two reasons. Firstly, my stepfather is the head coach of the club. And the second reason is because Vratsa has a long history, which is highly valued and respected in Bulgaria, in both the city and the club itself. It's important for me that when I play football, I'm happy and that I enjoy the game. This club gives me that.
Bojinov was regarded as one of Bulgaria's brightest football talents. His career began in Italy with Lecce, where aged 15 he became the youngest overseas player in Serie A's history. By 18, he was a Bulgarian international. After impressing in Lecce, he joined Fiorentina in 2005, before moving to Turin, where he helped Juventus win Serie B 2 years later.
Italy was the second country I grew up in, and it's where my career really started to progress. I had some very successful years playing in Italy. It's the country that gave me the chance, and it's the place that made me Valeri Bojinov.
In 2007, Bojinov left Italy for England, where he joined Manchester City. It was the dawn of a new era of the club, who would be bought by their current Abu Dhabi owners soon after the striker's arrival. But Bojinov's time in the Northwest would be blighted by injury, as he appeared just 12 times in 2 seasons.
I went through some difficult times and 2 major injuries, but I try not to focus on the negative. This club showed me how nothing can become something very quickly. They're now one of the game's biggest clubs. They're hugely impressive and very well respected. And that wasn't really the case before. But now, everyone has so much respect for Manchester City.
Sadly for the striker, injuries have continued to plague his career. He has represented clubs in 7 different countries since 2010. And apart from 3 trophies in 2 seasons with Serbian giants Partizan, Bojanov has struggled to make the impact that his early career promised.
I've changed countries and clubs many times. But it's made me stronger and wiser, as I've learned about the history of both the countries and the clubs I've played for. It's taught me a lot. I've also studied different languages, and I've got to know the history of cities where I've lived. I've learned lots of things. My goal is to reach 20 clubs. And once I reach that number, I'll retire. I've played for 15 so far, so when I reach 20, I can end my career. I'm joking, of course, but I do hope I have more clubs to play for and more places to explore.
The Bulgarian joined newly promoted Botev Vratsa at the start of the current campaign and has been in good form, scoring 7 times in 11 games. He has also taken on coaching responsibilities at the club as his thoughts turn towards the next chapter of his life in football. And who knows what may lay ahead in the long and eventful career of Valeri Bojanov.
I'm happy. I feel good. For me, it's very important that when you're at a club, you feel the love and respect from everyone, that the people really love you, and that you feel valued as a player. And that's exactly how I feel here. I hope I continue to be involved in football, regardless of the role, whether that be a manager or even a director. But at the moment, I'm simply enjoying playing football, and I hope I continue playing for a while. I just hope to stay healthy and in good shape.
Still to come, Australia's new diverse generation.
And the award-winning work of a truly unique club.
In Australia, a new generation of footballer is emerging. In the last 12 months, 5 players born outside the country have represented the Socceroos, including 2 refugees from the nation's Sudanese community.
It was a life-changing time for me and my family. I moved into Australia in 2006, and it was a different kind of world to what I was used to. I started playing football because it was the way of releasing the traumas that we were going through. It helped me massively because I did not speak the language at the start, but when I see people playing football, I will go and join them and then play, and that's a way of me expressing myself.
Coming to Australia was quite a big one for me and my family. With football, I think it made it so much easier to make friends. It's made it easier to kind of communicate, especially being a new arrival to Australia. We had something in common.
Now you're seeing a lot of different Australians coming together and representing these beautiful countries. So hopefully me and Thomas has set the way for them to realize that they can also achieve their dreams. The bond is something that's very strong because outside of football, we're friends, we grew up together. So the bond is really, really big and something that Thomas and I are grateful for.
Thomas Deng and Ewa Mabil both received their first national team call-ups in October for Australia's friendly against Kuwait. And a comprehensive 4-0 victory was sealed with a memorable debut goal for Mabil.
I remember speaking to Ewa, we were on the bench, and I said, if you come on, you're going to score. And he's like, yeah, okay, we'll see. So when he come on, and I think he came on how many minutes before me? 2 or 3 minutes. I was very happy for him. I was very stoked because he's been working very hard.
It was something amazing, and it's something that I didn't really realize how good it was until it's starting to kick in. The feeling is something that I will never forget. It's something that I can tell my kids.
The two may soon have the chance to shine on the continental stage. Australia are currently preparing for January's Asian Cup in the UAE, where they will start the tournament as defending champions.
Any player that is called up for that defend the title, which is an honor for Australia, I think we'll do a great job. And if I am one of them, I will work hard to make sure that I give everything to help the team achieve his goals and play for my team and my country to the best of my abilities.
Deng and Mabil represent something more than just football. They're trailblazers for a new generation of young immigrants in Australia, with the chance to challenge perceptions and pave the way for aspiring Australian players of all ethnicity.
I don't want to say that I'm a role model, but for them, that's probably how they view us, and they see it that it's not impossible. If they have the same person that's come from the same background.
I want to be a good example. I want to set good ways, not just for the migrants that come into Australia, but for the Australian kids also to realize that it doesn't matter. If you want your dreams, you can achieve them. So I want to be that example. I want to work hard to make sure I set the way for all kids.
Everybody in this room knows how hard the journey to get here is. Maybe not everyone knows how hard it was, especially for these two players. So I asked Danny and Ewa to come up, and we have a couple jerseys for them to hold on to.
Football's the world game. It's been played all over the world, and there's different backgrounds and different ethnicities, and we need to embrace other people. Football, I think, brings us all together.
Now for a look at some of the week's standout stories in numbers. In the Netherlands, Ajax's 8-0 rout of De Graafschap included hat-tricks for both Hakim Ziyech and Daley Blind. A Lionel Messi hat-trick against Levante means the Barcelona player has now scored 50 times in 8 of the last 9 calendar years. Aziz Abu reached 100 international goals in beach soccer as Nigeria qualified for next year's FIFA World Cup. And after 202 goals for Bolivia's The Strongest, Pablo Escobar is now set to retire.
I started football about 3.5 years ago. I basically wanted to reach out to the community and change the mindset that women and girls can play football. But it was basically watching the boys, the men, senior team doing the drills, and I wanted to be doing the same. And, you know, it was just fantastic, the way the training was taking place, and I wanted to do exactly the same. I was reaching out to the other ladies and saying, well, I want to start football, and can you be part of the team? And it just carried on. And I'm still not stopping.
In 2015, Palm Gill was inspired to form a female football team with a difference. Guru Nanak's women's side are based in Gravesend, southern England, home to one of the UK's largest Sikh communities, and one of the world's biggest gurdwaras, outside the religion's heartland of India.
It's in our culture, football basically isn't played, and it's known to be a boys' game. So I wanted to reach out to the Sikh girls, but also the others. It wasn't just specifically for the Sikh, but it was everyone that wanted to play football but couldn't.
Over the course of 3 seasons, Guru Nanak's female section has grown from an idea to a club, now boasting sides at 3 junior age groups, as well as a full senior women's team.
And now shoot! Shoot! Well done!
At the start, it was difficult because there are, shall we say, the older generation didn't want the ladies to be seen playing football, especially on this holy ground. And I had to sort of break those barriers slowly but surely.
3, 2, 1, go!
Talk to people, trying to explain to them football is a good thing, it's a sport, you know, it's a sport that everyone needs to play, it's not just for the boys.
As one of the oldest Sikh football clubs in the UK, Guru Nanak has faced real adversity. Their men's teams, set up in the 1960s, weren't able to formally join a league until acceptance the following decade. Now they play at one of the highest divisions in the region, and their academy has national recognition, with the female section on the same successful path.
I believe we are the largest multicultural club in the UK, and we just don't open the doors for just Sikh. It's open to everyone, despite the background, faith, religion. It really doesn't matter.
Gill is instrumental at the club, coaching the youth sides, and as well as managing the women's team, she's also the side's trusted right back.
I think for me, you've got to play before you can actually coach and manage a team. You learn more, especially myself, who hasn't got a football brain or anything like that. It means, you know, now coaching, managing and playing myself, it's quite an achievement.
I met Palm Gill in her full kit, and she was the first Indian girl, actually, that I'd ever seen in a full football kit with her boots on, and that's when I actually, you know, was wowed and joined the club.
Recognised with awards from both the FA and UEFA, Palm Gill's inspiration is paying off, with more than 70 girls now playing football every weekend.
About 100 years ago, people thought that boys were better than girls, as people thought that they were stronger just because of their gender, but girls can do something better too. We love Palm as a coach!
To see them smiling as they turn up for training, and even during the matches, even through a loss, it really doesn't matter because we are progressing all the time. As long as we are learning and developing each time, that's a reward in itself.
Next week on FIFA Football, we look back on an incredible 12 months for the beautiful game.
Remembering the people, faces and places that made 2018 so special. See you then.